It's one of the biggest events in North Yorkshire, and people come from far and wide to the Craft Festival, and we get several thousand people visiting us.
I'm a cat!
30 years ago, my predecessor here in Cawood, Ralph Messer, together with other people from the community, got together and created a vision for a craft festival, the original aim of which was to support the work and witness of All Saints Church and also to raise money for its fabric.
What could we do to raise funds for the church? I happened to be interested a bit in metal detecting at the time, so I suggested that we may have a metal detector meeting in conjunction with the work that was going to be done digging up the foreshore.
He advertised all around the country, north of Scotland, south of England, all around the place, and we got people to come with their metal detectors.
As well as giving them an opportunity to go metal detecting in a historic setting, we thought we ought to plant some seeds of some sort. When the doors opened at 7 o'clock in the morning on the day, there was a flood of people, all wanted to get registered quickly and pay their dues, and it went very well. A number of fines were made. There were rumours of fines that weren't declared, but we had archaeologists in attendance who advised people what the various bits of metal were that were found. One man found a silver penny.
They found these coins, and they found a lot of other coins as well, which went off to the Old Boys School, and the idea was that they kept a half of the value of the coins they found, and the rest went to the church.
Everybody was delighted. Nobody complained. If there were some people who went away with fines that they didn't declare, they would be happy as well. But the church was happy because we made quite a bit of money out of it.
When Ralph came to the Cawood as the incumbent, one of his duties was to do with Selby Coalfield, and his particular thing was unemployment. It made him think how you could develop some of the ancient crafts with people's skills as to work with their hands. Ron and Gwen Woodhouse and Ralph, Joan Denning particularly, because of her being an artist, they were talking in the pub one day and they were looking at the long menu board, and he thought about a great feast. Then he thought, no, we could start thinking about traditional skills.
My suggestion was that we have in the village a number of people, in and around the village, a number of people who are very good at various crafts.
The wall from the bridge, as it were, and right through to the church was just going to be hung with paintings and people would view them as they walked along. It was quite amazing how it escalated into anything but that.
And their idea was to get the artists to come and exhibit their paintings all along the wall. They didn't do that, but they did do putting the artists painting things, and also the emphasis being on demonstrations of people, demonstrations of woodwork. That was a very important feature.
So it was suggested that we have an arts and craft competition in the church.
The church had to loan £500 to the Craft Festival Committee, and that started off the Craft Festival.
They agreed to give us £500 and said they'd put it on for that. And if it doesn't work, we won't lose so much, but if it works, so be it. And it worked. It's like the talent scheme, the biblical talent scheme.
The first time, as I remember, it was only in the church. And I don't think the annual craft fair, which grew from that, extended into the vicarage garden on the first occasion.
We just cleared out as many pews as we thought to make sufficient room, and laid them on their backs and all sorts to make tables, and I got probably 8 or 10 sheets of plywood from work, and we just laid them on top of pews to make the decking to put the exhibits on.
You had to have a programme and a fee to get in to cover the cost. Then of course they had to come and they had to have a cup of tea. So we had ladies, we got a group of ladies together who baked, made sandwiches and used the Old Boys School for stall holders and also for refreshments. So gradually you're incorporating all the businesses and getting the opportunity to see the church at work.
Because that's going to go on there.
Yeah. And then there's Hannah's group, which is 58, sorry. On this green, yeah.
That's 8 to 11.
Is that pale group? That pale yellow, is that the 8 to 11?
These are 8 to 11.
that time, Ralph dying, it did put us into a bit of a crisis situation, as he'd been such a good leader to us all, really, and I was brought into it. I don't know whether I exactly volunteered for it, not really ever having done anything so important. I never thought it would ever escalate into the going on that it eventually finishes up as. This is how the music side of it came on. We felt that people wandering around needed something to listen to, even if they weren't taking 100% notice of it, but it just helped the atmosphere.
After David left, I was voted unanimously to then be chair. I was chair for 3 years, enjoyed it immensely. I had a little fright when it came to health and safety and risk assessments, which thankfully, having produced a huge file over 4 days, we were then all up to date and safe.
My name's John Catnack. I'm the chairman of Cawood Craft Festival Committee, and it's our 22nd year of having the festival here in Cawood.
Either last year or the year before, I was carving a thing called an amit.
The Methodist Chapel for many, many years had been one of the venues for the old photographs, and also it was the Women's Institute, and they used to do their teas there. Now sadly we lost the use of that facility, and so we had to think about where else in the village we could use, and the suggestion came up that we would use the village school. Now the only problem about that was that it was across the length of the Garth, and it was away from what I always call the main drag. However, by that time we were able to use the Garth. Richard Teal did a lot of work and ended up getting a reenactment group who could put up tents and could do archery displays. So that in itself meant that people would be led into the Garth and then on to the school. Something else which was very, very important was actually utilising the land at the rear of the vicarage. A very old marquee used to take up masses of the garden, and there was very little room for anything else. Michael Johnson said that he would be able to clear a fairly large piece of land. He spent a year clearing it and then flattening it, and in fact that is where the new marquee sits. So it's actually doubled the space that we have to use. What we also managed to do was formalise the use of the land in front of Cawood Castle. What we decided to do, partly to stop people just setting up on their own, was to call the area in front Exhibition Square. And we have formalised that now. We have got an information tent and stall, and people actually do have to pay to go on there. They just can't wander in. If you then go through the archways, that leads to the back garden and of course the miniature railway, which the kids absolutely love, and it's been going for years, and if we actually lost that, people would be so unhappy. Another thing we decided to look into was the logo for the craft festival. It was decided to hold a competition at Selby College utilising Sarah Bates' students.
You could learn about what a logo is, learn about the branding, what visual communication is, and obviously what we as a committee wanted to communicate through our logo to our community. The logo that was chosen was by a student called Vicky. She designed it. The colours were blue and green, which were very natural colours, very calming, and it was fitted perfectly with the ethos of what Cawood Craft Festival was about. It also gave the festival an identity, which we could hang other things off. So the signage, the brochure itself, the cover, any literature that went out, it went on a letterhead, and also went on the labels that were given out over the 3 days.
The quality of the exhibits in there is absolutely superb, and I know the judges found it very, very hard judging who was first, second and third, and then especially trying to decide which was the best in show.
Councillor Jack Crawford and his wife Kathleen. Jack's the chairman of Selborne District Council, so we'd like to welcome you, Jack. So we'll get on with the presentations and we'll see who's won the prizes.
And the first prize goes to Master William Lonsdale.
This class is best in show of all the children, and the prize has been sponsored by John Catternack, and the prize is awarded to Emily Sims, contribution in terms of my first prize goes to George Bryant.
Very well done, Joe.
Right, the next class is oil.
The best in show, and I'll let you read it out.
Right. Best in show for adults, and this is in memory of Ian Patterson. The prize has been sponsored by Carol Robson, and the award is given to Caroline Neal, and this is for the Angel Quilt.
The award we actually present for the best in show is the Dot Hunt Memorial Trophy. We actually present this big one tonight, which will go alongside the arch quilt that's won the best in show. So they get a smaller one in as well, which actually says the Dot Hunt Memorial Trophy, best in show 2012.
Dot Hunt, many of you will know, was the lay reader of this church and was deeply, deeply involved in the mission of the church in this parish. And she was also one of the founding figures of the Craft Festival all those years ago, along with my predecessor, Ralph Messer.
It was our 30th anniversary, so we looked at all various things to link the 30 of the Craft Festival and the Olympics and other things that were going on this year.
Move that car. Definitely move that car.
One of the highlights this year was getting Christine Walkden off the One Show. Christine is the gardening guru of that programme, and she kindly agreed to come and open the Craft Festival. She used to live in Cawood, going back many years ago, while she was working at the local experimental farm.
Yeah, the Olympic torch. Got to take pride and play. A considerable pleasure to be back in Cawood. Many of you may not know that in fact I lived here 35 years ago and worked at Stockbridge House. Festivals like this take a phenomenal amount of work, and it's work that takes place over the year. It's not just a few days. Visitors come, they have a fantastic time, they trough a good notch, they have a nice drink, they go off and buy things and enjoy everything to be seen. But there'll be a group of people that will have slogged their guts out for the last 12 months. In the last fortnight, they'll have had kissing several times. Last night when it was teeming down, they will have thinking, oh my God, what the hell's going to happen? It's festivals like this that keep Britain alive. So I hope that you have a fantastic 3 days. I hope Mr Gibbs and everybody else that I've spoken to behaves themselves and turns off the irrigation pipes. And I hope you just enjoy the event. Have a good time, and thank you very much.
Martha is on guys right off at Noggins. I have a lot of patience Thank you very much.
That's nonsense. You've got white clothes, that's the sale notes. In the configuration of the
Right, go outside.
GTC is £2, £3,
Just a vegetable stew.
Can I just warn you, ladies and gentlemen, this demonstration and the guns itself ain't going to be loud. So you will need to protect your ears. You're going to load it. It's called a pole gun, because it's a gun on the end of a pole. Have a care! And that lead pellet will go around about 60 yards. The gun that you can see in front of you there is not a cannon, by the way. It is a falconet. Now we're going to apply a match cord to it. Have a care!
We had a tapestry exhibition at the school where ladies from Leeds area had done patchwork and tapestry and quilting. That was something new, something we've done. It's the second year we've done the dog show. We get a chap in from Halifax who's an experienced dog show judge.
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
He does it all for us. We just set the arena up and the PA system, and it all goes on from there.
quiet first thing, like obviously, you know.
We're only able to put on such a large craft festival by the number of people that help us. Without the help, there'd be no way we could do this.
You've got one under here, you know that.
See you soon, I hope. Nice meeting you.
Over the years since that original craft festival, it has grown and expanded beyond its original vision and now embraces much more widely the entire community here in Cawood. And so the festival doesn't merely now support the work and the fabric of All Saints Church, but is a means of celebrating Cawood as a vibrant village, together with the folk who live here.
It wasn't necessarily to do with the primary aim of raising money for the church, but it had one of the criteria. But on the other hand, there was always that flaw or the danger. The church would become to rely on something that could finish very quickly.
It's come a long way since the first year. Just very little art exhibition in the first year has grown into this village-wide celebration every year. I'm delighted.